Hey, I'm Larry. Thanks for tuning in to Build Ride Repeat. I just dropped my wife off at work this morning and I have an off day. I'm going to use today to go out towards Zippers Performance to get some information on their Muscle 107 kits for the Twin Cam. It's definitely the direction I'm considering going in my motor, but instead of relying on forums and very little information about it, I am going to get the information straight from the horse's mouth. See you in a little bit. So I made out here to Zippers, and I'm about to run in here and check out and see what they got going on. I drove here today to get some information from you guys about your Muscle 107 kit. I've been looking around online and try to figure out, what direction to go with my bike. It's a 2001 Road King that I want to do some performance mods to or whatever, but still make it reliable. What do you have any information, about your Muscle 107 kit that you would like to offer?
Well, it's pretty straightforward how it works. I mean, it's your engine was the original, we call it the original 88 platform. Had a 3-quarter bore and a 4-inch stroke. That was 88 cubes. Real easy to make them 95-inch. That's when we first rolled out the first kit back in '99. Okay. But you can only make the bore so much bigger. We do have a 98-inch kit, very popular today, although I tell you, we still sell a lot of Muscle 95 kits. The only difference is a slightly bore size change from 3.875, and the 98-inch has got the 100 millimeter 3.937. So, but the basis of all of our kits are all the same. So, like if you want to do a 107, we're going to migrate you to 4 3/8 stroke crank, like it's in the 06 and later Dynas or all 07 later Harleys. And we use the same technology that we have but putting into these kits now for, oh my gosh, I mean, it's hard to believe it's almost 19 years.
Wow, yeah.
And yes, they have been through refinements and various things that we've done to improve the cylinder heads, improve the cams, and various things like that. But it's a proven package. It works. The twin cam technology is, you think of it as a base. Whether you're going to build a little cam and some induction and some pipes and stuff just to really sweeten up a kind of a stock running engine and get it really running right, or you're going to go into a full bore package. We have a base that we try to build into everything that we do. So the 107 is kind of like a flagship engine. We do a lot of them. Yes, Harley does make a drop-on 110 kit if you want to go that route. It's got a real thin liner, a steel liner in it. It's only 35 thousandths thick. You can't hone it. You can't change the ring pack, and the pistons, don't have any choices of domes, so it limits what you can do with that. Where, a typical Zippers Muscle 107 will just run. It'll just drive by one of those things like it's got the brakes on, because it's a better design, and the design of the engine can be factored the way you want it. You might want a small port head for higher velocity, better torque. You might want a stage 3 head with some more compression. There's so many ways we can do it. We try to dial it into specifically what you want to build.
Okay. So basically, I want to be able to ride the bike. Like, I want to be able to ride and visit my parents down in Savannah, Georgia, or visit my wife's parents in Ohio somewhere or wherever. So, like, what should I go for? Should I go for the high compression or the more velocity? You said velocity?
Well, the small port heads, like on a stage 2, has got a smaller port, higher velocity, and it's more ideal maybe with a flat top piston, a stock throttle body, a smaller injector. But I'd say the favorite is what we call the balanced power system, and that's something with the stage 3 heads, larger. It's got a unshrouded combustion chamber to increase the flow, redshift 577 cam. That's a really popular package. It's probably the most popular package.
Okay.
And it gives you the ability that you can put pump fuel in it and run it. You can do whatever you want to do, and whether you're want to go visit folks or you want to spend a weekend at a racetrack, it'll pretty much do its deal no matter what you put at it.
So you mean I can go to the racetrack with the Muscle 107?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Awesome. So, like I know there are like other companies who do like 107 kits or whatever, but I often see that it's not they'll do like the cylinders and the pistons or whatever and whatever head work, but from what I gather from the Muscle 107 is that you can put together a complete kit of the camshafts to work with the whatever cylinder head package that you all go for. Because I see that you have the Sport 107, the Muscle 107.
Yeah.
And it's the Sport 107, with the smaller
ports, stage 2 heads. Yep.
And the Muscle 107 is the stage 3 heads with the bigger ports and everything.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you're heading on something that we probably haven't done the best job explaining, but in what we've done going back to the 1999-2000 release of the first Muscle 95 is that you are correct. You could take a piston kit, take your top end off, put a piston kit on, put your heads back on, put your stock cams back in, and you've got a big bore kit. There's no doubt about that. And now you're going to have to tune it, and tuning is going to be a challenge because you've changed the pumping pressure, you changed the engine size, etc. But we do with the cylinder heads and the pistons and the chamber volume and calculate how much the chamber volume needs to be when the cylinder heads are finished, and the type of gasket surfaces to get better seals, and whether on the head gasket, and the type of ring finish on the cylinder wall, where we do a finish on the cylinder wall so you get a better sealed up ring, that seals up the engine. We provide even the tuning components, so it's done. So if it's a carbureted motorcycle, you'll get a calibrated carburetor. Okay. It was based on some tests that we conducted here, so that you have a good place. You're almost completely dialed in. Same thing on the spark timing. You'll have the map curves will be all figured out, so you know how much time in advance it needs at various throttle positions and RPMs. We sell what we call an integrated pre-engineered package. Okay. And pre-engineered isn't a word that's used loosely. I mean, we've calculated and sorted out what you need to have the total package.
Okay. So another question I had was, so you have the package already together. Like what would be the procedure for this? Because like you said, most times, a lot of people I've seen that on some of the forums, they'll buy a piston and cylinder kit from either Amazon or off of eBay, and they'll take it to a builder and say, hey, put this together for me or whatever. So like, what would be the procedure for someone or for me to have like something like a Muscle 107?
Right. Well, we make it simple. I mean, because when you buy a variety of parts from varieties of vendors, you really have no idea how these ingredients are going to work with each other.
Okay.
You might, like we see tech calls come in here where they have a 95cc cylinder head on maybe a 95-inch or a 98-inch or even 103s, and they've got a flat top piston. Well, they can't obtain enough compression to even make it work in any fashion that would work. And then if they got the wrong cam selection with a late closing intake valve, then it's a double whammy going the wrong way, because now we can't build any cylinder pressure.
Okay.
So you end up with it might be a big engine, you might have some good parts on it, you might have MVA castings or something along that line on the cylinder heads, and you can't make any power.
Okay.
Because it's just not a good combination. We take all that out. I mean, you could still have input to the type of combination you want because we have different variations of it. But we get rid of all the smoke and mirrors about that. So where if you say, I want to go balance power, I want to make 120 plus horsepower and this much torque, and I want to use a 2-in-1, or I want to use a dual system, an exhaust, whatever the case may be, we can help tailor all that for you so that it's basically ready for you to final assemble when you have all those parts sitting in front of your workbench.
Okay. Yeah, because that's another thing too. I mentioned about the different compression ratios. Like, is there in different CCs or different heads? So it's like, I would imagine like those change from between the sport and the muscle, and like you said, you already have that range or situated as far as, like you said, you have the ready to go kit. So what other factors that you say that someone would add to it? Would it be the type of exhaust? So do you have most guys come to you with an exhaust system already like picked out or whatever, or do you all like do they ask for suggestions of which direction to go for exhaust?
Well, and this is my personal opinion, that I think an exhaust system on your motorcycle is a personal choice, and it's almost an extension of what you want the motorcycle to look like and probably sound like.
Okay.
So rather than say use this one pipe, what we do is you tell us if you want to run a 2-in-1, you want to run a 2-in-1 that looks like duals with a false, or you're going to run a 2-in-2, or you've got something unique. We'll try to give you provide you with the information and the mapping or the fuel curves so that it works with what you want to do. Because we would prefer that, like you'll see in our brochures and websites and things like that, there's a lot of D&D stuff that's associated with our kits, and that is because D&D understands how engines run. They spend time in dyno rooms like we do. They understand the harmonics of an exhaust system, and a lot of engine building is it really gets down to sizing. You have to size the cam, you have to size the port, you have to size the valve sizes and the intakes and the links and the runners and all these various things, and it's a lot of math.
Okay.
And it sounds complicated, but we make it simple because we kind of already done that. We've already made those kind of development mistakes in the lab doing this kind of stuff. So we make a hard job easy because it really gets down to you get to pick what you want, and we'll make it work.
Yeah, and I see like from the stuff I see in the picture, you have the camshafts, the air filter, air cleaners, pistons, and what I look like are the cam chain tensioners, and that's one of the things I read about. I have been reading about too. Is like My Year Motor, like they had the spring tensioners for the cam chains. Is that right? Correct.
Correct.
Yes, and so I saw that you all actually designed the type of
dual piston
cam
tensioner.
chain.
So the dual piston tensioner is very unique. Unlike the OE system, you have a larger reservoir of oil that remains in the tensioner. Instead of the OE, which has a single feed, the dual piston tensioners from Zippers have dual feeds.
Okay.
And they have a very precision fit, how the pistons fit into there, so they don't rock around like the OE tensioners do, which you have spring, but if you went to your average Harley shop and said, I want to get my upgrade, they're going to put the hydraulic style like they put in the 06, 9, 07, and laters.
Okay.
And it's a step in the right direction,
but
there are some drawbacks to the OE tensioner. So what we did is we took a look at that thing and said, well, how could we improve this? How could we make a better system to maintain the chain so we're not putting too much pressure on it, but we're not allowing the chain to move too much because we get this hydraulic burping going on by the movement of the tensioner, the way that it's made from the factory. So that's what that system does. You end up with a quieter running engine. Your cam timing is more accurate. We don't like to say it too much, but it actually makes better power on the dyno because, again, the cam timing is more accurate because you're keeping the chain at the right tension. And with the run out that you might have on the crankshaft with some of the later model engines, it's designed to work with that. Where a gear drive system really is not tolerant of a lot of run out. So the way we've made this system work is if it's got 1,000ths run out, which is like nirvana, it's almost like unheard of. A lot of the 07 and later engines have 4, 5, 6,000ths run out.
Okay.
And it works great with that.
Okay. So, in order for me to go 107 with my motor, you said I had to go with the 4 3/8 flywheel.
Correct.
And I'm able to acquire that with the kit as well, or how would I go about that? Do I like?
Yeah, that's an add-on that you can do.
Okay.
I mean, back in the day, we used to do quite a few of the 4 1/8 inch bore with the stock 4-inch stroke, and that was a 107.
Okay.
So it was an over square Harley engine, and we sold quite a few of those, but they're more complex because they require the crankcases to be bored for the larger spigots on the cylinders to fit down up on them. But that is an option. You could do that. And then the 107 4 1/8 inch bore, if you had a 4 3/8 stroke, that's 117 inches now. So it's you can slice it any way you want to do it.
Right. Okay. So
the nice part about the 107, the 100 millimeter bore, 4 3/8 stroke, is it's a super reliable, well vetted engine. It's just it's a good package that no matter where you go, how hard you ride it, it'll always get the job done.
Okay. All right. Cool deal. Yeah, like those are some of the questions I wanted to go over because, I haven't been seeing anything on whatever forums or different websites or even like just looking for reviews for your product and everything. And like I figured that this was a blessing to be this close to you guys because instead of just trying to call you guys on the phone, I can like walk in and ask these questions, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to do that.
Well, we've always maintained, most of the stuff that we make here, we sell through the trade.
Okay.
So that's probably why you don't see it, is because most of
everybody's keeping
the
a secret.
people that are buying, that's their recipe, that's their secret, and we understand that. And we don't get a lot of walk-in, although we are very open with information. People email us. We get various things that. So if you had your engine kit done through, ABC Motorcycle Company, I mean, the folks at Zippers would help you, support you if you had technical questions. You wanted to know what type of oil that is best for the engine once you get it. Those kind of things are available.
Okay.
But we always like the opportunity to be able to speak to folks that use the product or are thinking about using the product because we don't get that opportunity much because we don't normally see the people that are using the product.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I want to do is because I like to make informed decisions or informed purchases. I mean, like of course with the advent of the internet, a lot of people are seeking to make informed purchases and informed decisions on what products to buy.
Boy, that's a good one. I mean, one of the things I've said for years is when you ping in to talk to us, you email us various things online. Any way you form a communication, you're not going to get the hard sell because we want to help you get informed. That's been our motto for as long as I can remember.
Okay.
And the idea behind that is that if we give you all the information that you need or help you format the question so you can we fully understand what you're trying to build, then you're now in a better position to make a good decision. Okay. And that's important because nobody has the money to do it twice. Yeah. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Yeah. So what's the hurry? This is a big decision.
Yeah.
So get all the information.
Right. Yeah, and like my wife gets on me because sometimes she'll see my laptop and I've got 20 tabs open of different, motorcycle related, websites or just reading a bunch of different information. And of course, there are guys who are on these sites and on these different forums that tell you, hey, do this or do that, but everybody wants to spend your money versus allowing you to make the decision yourself. So I definitely appreciate
That's the fun with friends, huh? Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate your time.
My
Thanks,
pleasure.
sir. I'll definitely be seeing you soon.
Good.
All right.
All
Thank you.
right.